Former AEW commentator Kevin Kelly opens up on his exit from the company, saying he wouldn't treat his worst enemy the way that AEW treated him. Eric Bischoff says that Hook needs to leave AEW and get to WWE NXT as fast as he can, and Chuck Taylor opens up on his potential career-ending injury. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Kevin Kelly, because Kelly has opened up on his departure from All Elite Wrestling. Of course, not many people have been fired by AEW. The veteran announcer Kevin Kelly is one of them, and now he's lifted the lid on his exit with some explosive comments. Now, Kelly was fired by AEW after going public with his frustrations with the company and comments made by fellow AEW announcer Ian Riccaboni online. Now, speaking at a signing for K&S WrestleFest, Kevin Kelly finally lifted the lid on what led to his AEW exit and began by giving his candid views on what Riccaboni had to say about him, explaining their relationship and the issues that they had.
But, and we got along great, and we worked together on some shows. Everything was fine. When Joey Mercury left, I found out that Ian was kind of, as Dennis Corluzzo used to say, putting the mouth on me. Ian was in the office.
When you left?
Yeah, after I was gone.
From Ring of Honor?
Because I went to New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right. And I talked to some people about it, and I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, whatever. But then, start doing this AEW thing, and Tony Khan told me I first wanted Ian Riccaboni to do Collision, but he couldn't because of his day job. Okay, so Ian recommended me. Great, cool. I go away and it was all, they knew this, I go away to do the G1, I'm gone 5 weeks, I come back and it's like, Ian's hammering me on Discord and this New Japan message board about, like, I did all these different things to him over the years, which I never knew. I had no clue. And then to top it all off, he accuses me of like being some QAnon conspiracy theorist for supporting a movie that was against child trafficking. That's neither here nor there. The part that bothers me so much is that I thought we were friends. And if he would have called me, we could have talked about it. Hey, Kevin, listen, you're really pissing me off. And even if we would have agreed to never be friends before, if he would have just called me up and said, F you, I hate you, I never want to see you again, at least I would know where I stood. And then I could work towards fixing what I had done wrong. But instead, the way that he went about it painted me with a nasty brush. And it was done on purpose so that the fans would turn against me, because he did it in a New Japan Discord board. You know what I mean? And people were messaging me that I'm friends with, because I go there all the time. That's how I found out about it. I woke jet lag, post G1. I wake up and I say, let's see what they're saying about us. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell? And people were like, people that I'm friendly with in there were like, what is Ian doing? Why is he doing this? I have no idea. So I message him, and it's like, hey, what's going on? Well, you said and did a bunch of different things to me over the years, and I'm pissed off about it. Okay, but, well, let's talk about it. Well, I'll only talk to you if you guarantee that you're not going to record the call. I'm like, I wouldn't know how to record a call off a cell phone. What are you, crazy? Yeah, sure, we need to talk about this. And we never did. And then things started to change within AEW. And it was almost like hand in glove. It was never a good fit, me being there.
Now, Kelly also opened up about some of the frustrations he had when it came to voicing his opinion about AEW Collision, suggesting that it should be different from AEW Dynamite, and this is the reaction that he received.
I came from New Japan where I was left alone, and I knew what I was doing. And I was calling matches that were just like AEW, and all of a sudden now I've got all these people in my ear, and I've got all this format stuff, and it's like, why do we have to do things the same way Dynamite is? This is what I said. Why do we have to be the same show? Don't we want Collision to be different? Isn't this a different thing? Whether it was split because of CM Punk and the Bucks, I have no idea. That was never even brought up. But it was a separate show Saturday night. Great. Let's make it different. Let's do some different things.
SmackDown had a huge difference from Raw.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, everything looked different in the beginning.
Yes, looked different. They said, yeah, and it morphs into one. They did try to make it look different. But again, why can't we as announcers be different? Because I'm different than Taz and Excalibur and Shivani. And just the handwriting was on the wall that it wasn't going to work. And I was getting more and more pissed off. And I talked to the AEW office about it. I talked to them. And I told them that I was mentally getting really in a bad spot over this too. And I vented. And when I vented, that's when they let me go.
Now, when talking about Ian Riccaboni once again and asked specifically about some of the issues that they had, Riccaboni had also mentioned that Kevin Kelly had given him a hard time for wearing a cowboy hat on the Calgary Stampede 2023 edition of AEW Collision on TNT. Headgear, of course, that is more commonly associated with the legendary voice of wrestling announcer Jim Ross. Here's what Kelly had to say about that incident.
So, again, no harm, no foul with AEW. No. Big blame there. But I always wanted to straighten things out with Ian. I feel terrible that he was mad at me over something he never told me, and it led to a bunch of different problems.
So to this day, you're not even sure what Ian's talking about, what you did to him, or what he thinks you did?
Oh, one incident in particular, he did spell out for me. Okay. And I did say it to him. I meant it like in a... I won't go into it, but I didn't really get the chance to explain it, but I understand how it could be taken the wrong way. And the other thing that he said was that I knocked him for wearing a hat on Collision, which I did, a cowboy hat, because he's sitting right next to Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Because they're in Calgary, the Stampede, and I was saying it because guess what? You're going to get heat with JR if you're wearing a cowboy hat sitting next to him at the announce desk. Whether he says it's okay or not, that doesn't matter. And I'm like...
And you've known Jim for 30 years.
Yeah. And, and it was born in Calgary. It was born at the Stampede. And he's the one who wears the fucking cowboy hat. Why would you do that?
Listen, I'll say this.
Whatever. Listen, Ian got upset about that. Give me a break.
Now, when it comes to his relationship with AEW, as far as AEW goes, Kevin Kelly made it very clear there is no water under the bridge as far as he's concerned, and says that he wouldn't treat his worst enemy the way the company treated him. When he was asked if he has any ill feelings towards how things ended in AEW, Kevin Kelly certainly didn't hold back.
You have some ill feelings towards them for the way they got rid of you as well, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Wouldn't treat any other human... I wouldn't treat my worst enemy like that.
Who were you told that you were let go? Was it Tony?
No, Mike Mansory, the executive producer. And the new vice president of human resources who I had never met and spoke to ever before.
And they based it around your venting?
I knocked the company on Twitter and vented on a voicemail to the HR lady that I had been working with. Problem was I never knew where, I brought up this whole thing with Ian and they said, yes, good, thank you for bringing it up. What's going to happen? I said, what's the process? Well, we'll discuss it and we'll let you know. And apparently the disciplinary committee got together and made a decision. Okay, what was the decision? Well, we can't tell you because it's private. Wait a minute, I was the one who was the victim here. I need to know what happened so that I could put this to bed in my mind. Well, we just can't tell you. Okay, this is very upsetting for me. You have to understand this. We really don't understand. We don't care. So, whatever. Yep.
Now, when it comes to how he was feeling and his, mental health and his that aspect of things in his final days in All Elite Wrestling, Kevin Kelly opened up on how the situation affected his mental health and admitted that he was much happier in New Japan Pro Wrestling than he ever was in Tony Khan's company.
My mental health was not good from when this began. And it was taking a toll on my marriage, on my family, on me personally, physically, mentally. And, it's really nobody's business, but my mental health was not good. It's better now, thank God.
Good.
And because I've gotten some help, I've gotten fixed. Well, working on being fixed, as we all can be. But, for a company that cares so much about their athletes and the people involved, and we have a and I booked an appointment with the psychiatrist, and I got all the text messages of me just like ranting and raving with the poor guy, David Weiss, and I set up an appointment with him on Thursday because we were taping TV that next day, and then they fired me on Wednesday. So, you guys really care about the people that you employ. So, yeah, it wasn't about Ian at that point anymore, but I did kind of like lump him in all of it. But now it's like I'm trying to process it, and I'm trying to be, so forgiving him is easy. Forgiving him that's already done as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Yeah.
But again, you cannot do something like that. It happened with to a much greater extent. I'm not comparing myself to it at all, but to Hana Kimura. Okay?
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes, absolutely.
Because when you bring down the force of social media onto a person wrongly accusing someone, there are consequences. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. And I mean, what happened to Hannah, of course, was much worse than what happened with me. I'm not even comparing this. But again, it's the same type of thing. And that's really just it. I was not a fit for AEW. I just felt like it was a very different kind of place and very stressful. So many people, just like there was so much chaos, and it just really stressed me out a lot.
Well,
so I was much happier in New Japan, except for the flights.
So, what do you make of Kevin Kelly's comments there about his time in AEW and his exit? Let me know your thoughts or reaction to all of that in the comment section below. Now, Eric Bischoff, of course, he's very outspoken on all things All Elite Wrestling. Now, with AEW Double or Nothing in the rear-view mirror, Hook, the former FTW champion, seemingly plans to continue his rivalry with current FTW champion Chris Jericho following a confrontation on AEW Dynamite last week. However, Eric Bischoff believes Hook would be better off elsewhere. On a recent episode of his podcast, 83 Weeks, Bischoff provided insights into his negative reaction to the FTW Championship match and his feelings about Hook's future in professional wrestling. He said, quote, "Chris Jericho is someone who I have a lot of respect for, but this was horrible. Hook needs to get to NXT as fast as he can. I mean, he's not going to learn anything where he's at. Let's face it, he's surrounded by a bunch of hardcore wrestlers, Terry Funk wannabes." To further underline why Bischoff feels Hook would be better off working for WWE's developmental promotion, he praised the variety of matches on the recent PLE, King and Queen of the Ring, which aired the same weekend as Double or Nothing. He said, quote, "There's no psychology in AEW matches. I don't know who's laying the matches out. I don't know what kind of communication takes place between agents, but if you want to talk about contrast between two products, go and watch King of the Ring, then go watch Double or Nothing." So, what do you make of what Bischoff is saying there? Is he right? Is he wrong? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. And finally, Chuck Taylor has opened up on his struggle to overcome a possible career-ending injury. On Close Up with Renee Paquette, Chuck Taylor expressed hope that he could return to in-ring action following surgery on his ankle injury. He said, quote, "I can get surgery, and once I heal from that, I can hopefully reassess. Maybe it's me hoping, but a lot of guys and gals have come back from career-ending injuries." At the end of the interview, Taylor admitted he hasn't scheduled the surgery yet, wanting to take this summer to learn the production side of AEW television. He said, quote, "It's not really an emergency. They said I can't do anything athletic. Eventually, they said I'll get terrible arthritis, and then all they'll be able to do is fuse it. But that's years down the line. So I'm hoping maybe to take the summer to really feel comfortable in the job. I don't want to learn half of it and then piss off for a while. So hopefully after the summer is my hope." Now, originally, Taylor injured his knee back in October, believed it to be a bruised talus and ligament damage that could be rehabbed. After rehab, it didn't get better, and this is where doctors advised he undergo surgery. Taylor was written off AEW television back in April, losing to Trent Beretta in a parking lot brawl. After the match, Trent took a wrench and attacked Taylor's foot, blaming Cassidy for what he had done. It was later said on AEW television that Taylor would never be able to wrestle again. So if we get any more details on that in the future, of course, we'll let you know. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch the next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.